Hi guys, Top Pops here, and today we're going to be looking at my error Funko Pops. So let's get started. Alright guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at all of my error Funko Pops. Now this here, if you guys are wondering, is pretty much when a figure is different from what it should be. And it's either fixed later on, or it's like a one-off character, or, you know, quality control just didn't catch this when they were sending these out. So I've got about 10 to 12 of them here. Some of them kind of go together, which I'll be showing you guys in a second. But I guess we'll just get started with the first one here, because I've got some pretty cool ones. Alright guys, so this first figure that I have here is an error, but it's not really one that I would consider like a widespread error. This is just with my figure, but I wanted to put it in the video anyways. This is the, and you guys probably knew this was going to be in this video, the Professor Radium Batman. Now, this right here looks normal, but if you guys look closely, his hand is actually missing on this. And by the way, it was not in the box when I got this one. I actually got this one for Christmas, I think it was a year or two ago. I think it was back in, oh, it was from 2016. Geez, this could have been maybe 4 years ago? It couldn't have been that long ago. But anyways, I got this one for Christmas a long time ago. My parents bought this one for me, and they did not notice that the hand was missing. And it wasn't like it was shaking around in the box. It just wasn't there altogether. So this is one of those things where, you know, the glue might have been missing on that hand, and it just fell off while it was going down the assembly line. It makes it into the box, and then now it is on the shelves at Target. So this is one of those things that I think is really interesting when they do come in like this, and I think it gives it a little bit more character. And I kind of like that kind of error stuff when it comes to figures. Even though I would like one with both hands, it makes this one a lot more special. Now this next figure here is pretty much the same as the Professor Radium Batman, where it's only one character that I've ever seen like this, and it's not like every single character that was on the production line came out like this, but I want to show this one off anyways. But it is a very small error, but I do want to mention it. So this is the Alan Parrish from Jumanji. Now a lot of you guys have probably seen this character in my collection, but if you haven't, it looks pretty much normal. But if you guys notice, this is the common figure with the Barnes & Noble exclusive box, and the Barnes & Noble exclusive is him with a little like dagger or sword, and the one in the box does not have that. Now you guys might be thinking it's just an accidental box swap, but the window does not have the Barnes & Noble exclusive sticker, which would be like right around here. So I don't know what happened here. Maybe that was the problem, but then again, you would think the sticker would be on there, but I think they put those on there after, so maybe they did an accidental box swap in the production line, and then it just happened to get pushed out with the common figures. So I guess I got this one a little bit cheaper than you would normally have to pay for the exclusive, but yeah, this is something very small, but I wanted to point it out. This next one here is probably one of my favorite errors that I have, and a lot of you guys might even have this one in your collection if you guys own this figure. Most of them were like this. Now this one here is the Oompa Loompa from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So this one here is completely normal on the front, and I think so the side is completely fine, but you guys can see here it's O-O, let me show you guys. So you guys can see on the front there it's spelled O-O-M-P-A. Now on the back and on the side, they actually spelled it O-O-P-M-A. I don't know why they did that, and it also happened here as well up at the top. So it happened twice on the box, but they did have it spelled right on the front, as well as where they would normally say what the characters are. So down here and on the front it's spelled right, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and yes, it is also spelled right on the big side here where it says Oompa Loompa Huge. So I don't know why they messed it up twice and not the other times as well, or why they didn't fix it on the other ones. I'm not exactly sure, but it is a weird one, and most of the Oompa Loompas that came out do have this error. Alright guys, so this next one here is not a pop. Well, it is a pop, but it's a pocket pop. So this right here is a bit of a weird one. So this here is the glow-in-the-dark gamer Deadpool from the Marvel Black Friday mystery boxes. So this one here looks normal, but it says Miles Morales Gamer on here, not Deadpool Gamer. And the other Deadpool one, I do want to mention this, the one that's not glow-in-the-dark, does say Deadpool on it. So I'm not exactly sure why this happened or why they did it. Maybe they didn't have Deadpool Gamer boxes with the glow-in-the-dark stickers, but they did that for the other one, so I have no clue why this happened. And this happened with pretty much all of them as well. A lot of people let me know that mine did have the Miles Morales name on there, not the Deadpool one, and pretty much every other person that got this Pocket Pop had Miles Morales on it. This next figure here is actually a pretty big figure, and I don't know if they ever redid this one to actually spell the name right, but this is Maleficent. Now if you guys look here, it looks completely normal, but for some reason they put an I in her name right there. Now it's pretty much the only place they have it too. Every single other spot on the box is normal. I think so, yeah. So you guys can see here, it says Maleficent, there's no I there. There isn't one on the side here, as well as the back either. So every other spot says Maleficent right. This is something very small because it's just the I on the front of the box, but that is what you would be displaying if you were displaying it in box. So it is kind of sad that it was the front one and not like the back one or the side one or something like that. But I guess it's just one of those small things that slip past quality control, and I would say it's probably one of my favorite errors. So these next pops here, I actually have two of them that kind of go with with the same error. So this right here is part of the Pop Myths line number 20. So if you guys don't know how that works, they have made 20 Myth Pops up to the Minotaur. So the Minotaur is, you know, number 20 in that series. And what they do with those numbers is they make it so every single character has a different number. The only time it would have the same number is if the character had the same sculpt. So for example, there's the Rainbow Bigfoot as well as the Flocked Bigfoot. Both of those are number 14 because the sculpt isn't changed, it's just the color. But this one here is number 20, and then so is the Jackalope, and they are both in the Pop Myths line. So I don't know how that actually escaped quality control. This actually happens more often than you'd think. Another example of when this happened was actually in the Icons line, where number 49 was both Guy Fieri and Ronald Reagan. Now this does happen a little bit, doesn't happen too often, but it is kind of sad when it does for people that actually want to display their characters in numerical order. You really can't when there's two of the same number. Next up, we have a figure that I got actually in yesterday's video that kind of sparked the idea to make this video. I did do this video probably like 3 years ago, but I wanted to do it again because in that video I only had 3 figures at the time that were errors, and now we have like 12. So anyways, the next one here we have is Tony Vareski from Die Hard. Now you guys might think this is a normal character, but on the text on his shirt, it's actually upside down. So it says, upside down, now I have a gun, ho ho ho. But the whole thing has been flipped over. Some people have been telling me that this is actually how it was supposed to be, but if you look at the box here, this is the proper way where it says, now I have a gun, ho ho ho. Because I remember yesterday I was reading this while doing the video and it said oh oh oh, and I was trying to figure out why it would say oh oh oh, but it's a Christmas thing, so I was thinking maybe they were doing a play on words for the ho 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 because it's like a scary thing, but no, it's just completely upside down, and I felt kind of dumb reading it like that, but it wasn't my fault, it was the Pop's fault, it was upside down. And this is again one of those things that I guess just slipped past quality control, but again, I'm not complaining because I love errors like this. Alright, so next up here we have a bit of a weird one again. This is something where the figure was actually missing a piece on it. Now this wasn't just one character. I think it was probably a batch of figures that went out, like maybe, I don't know how many they would do at a certain time, but there was a good amount of them that went out and they were missing this certain piece on the figure. So you guys can see here, this is the Christmas Yoda where he's wearing the Santa hat and stuff like that, but he's missing his eyelids. Now you guys can see on the side of the box, he's supposed to have eyelids, and people have found him with and without eyelids. And I wanted to say that I did go hunting for a long time to find the one without eyelids because I thought it was cool to have the error figure instead of the normal one that everybody kind of had. So it took a little while, but I did eventually get him. So there he is right there, guys. You can see it's not too different, but the eyelids do look kind of funny when they're on there now because I've had this character for so long. And this wasn't a one-off error, like I said. This is probably a batch of figures that went out without the eyelids and then they finally fixed it later on. So this could be one of those Pops in your collection that is an error and you just don't even know it. This next one here is a bit of a smaller one, but I did want to mention it because it is an error, and a lot of figures had this one. I remember Puppet Steve on YouTube, I think, did a whole video talking about this one. But it is a small thing, but I did want to talk about it here. This is the Happy Frog from Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, you guys might think, again, it looks like a normal figure, but you can see on the box here, it has the yellow kind of like rim around his eyes, where on the actual figure, it does not. The figure does not have the yellow. So I guess it was supposed to have the yellow. Some figures do have the yellow, and this one just happened to not have it. It is one of those figures that is pretty cool that it doesn't, and I like having errors like that where you might not know you have it, but it's worth a little bit more than the normal one. Now I want to save this figure for last because this was one of my first errors I ever actually got, and it is something I guess a little small, and I don't know if they meant to do this or not, but it doesn't make sense for the figure, so I'd like to put this one on the list whenever I can. This one here is the Freddy Funko. Now this was the original one that came with the Funko Fun Club when you actually had to order it on their website, and they would send you a certificate signed by the CEO, Brian Mariotti, and then it had your name under it. So I do have that certificate, but it's got my mom's name on it only because she didn't know that you were supposed to put down in the order name who you wanted on the actual certificate, so we had no clue. So it's got my mom's name on there. It's so cool that I have one, but it just doesn't have my name on it. So this one here on the box says vinyl bobblehead when Freddy Funko is not a bobblehead. So I don't know why they put that one on there, and you guys might be thinking, do they just put that on all of the figures? But if you look here, it says Happy Frog, and then it says vinyl figure. It's now in 3 different languages. Before, it didn't have the 3 languages on there. It was just in English, but it still, you know, holds up to say that they do put vinyl figure on there when they don't have a bobblehead in there. So it's just kind of funny that this Freddy Funko does not have a bobble on his head, but it still put vinyl bobblehead. So I don't know if this error was intentional, but they did switch the box on this figure a little bit later on, maybe to differentiate the original ones versus the newer ones, where this one here says 17, where the original one used to say 00. So maybe this happened when they switched the boxes from 00 to 17. I'm not exactly sure, but I would still consider this an error. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, but before we go, I've got a question for you. Would you consider the error figure one necessary to complete the set? So for example here, the Happy Frog without the yellow eyes, this is one that a lot of people could get because it was a widespread error, I guess you could say. So there was probably boxes and boxes of those ones that went out. So would you need this one to complete your Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator set? I mean, personally, I don't think so, but there's probably a lot of people out there that would like to. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But this has been another episode of Top Pops. Popsters, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. If you're new around here, you should subscribe to keep up to date with the channel. I do upload every day after all. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And you can always like the video if you know, well, liked the video. And if a video every day isn't enough for you, you can always check me out on many other platforms. I do post pretty much every day over there as well. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that due to popular demand, we now have Top Pops merch. Yeah, I know. You're welcome. We have a bunch of different designs, and the shirts come in 16 different colors. That's right, 16 different colors. So there's literally a color for everyone. There's also phone cases, sweaters, and since so many of you asked, yes, we finally have wall clocks. I'll have it all linked in the description down below for you guys to check out. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.